JayDreamerZ welcomes you to the live stream.
Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome to tonight's live stream. Tonight we're going to be talking about aliens, and we're going to really try to exhaust this subject. I have a lot of different opinions about aliens and the concept of aliens, where they come from, the origin of the word, the etymology of the word. I did put the chat up there for everybody to have fun with. And we're talking about aliens, but we're also going to be talking about the elves. So for those of you who are new to my channel, please stop right now and go check out some of my prior videos that talk about the reality of elves. What are elves? The L. And I'll get into that. I'll touch on it a little bit on this video. But I'm going to be talking as if you already know what I'm talking about, okay? So, I'm JayDreamerZ. Welcome. I want to say, at the end, we're going to hang out. Okay, we're going to jump right into the alien chat. But at the end, we're going to talk about this being my last live stream for some time until my book is finished. And, I'll say goodbyes and shout outs and things like that. So, for tonight, we're going to go right into it. You'll see lots of fun pictures up behind me of what we think aliens look like. And I want to say hello to everybody in the chat. I'm mostly going to be just talking right now. So let's get right to it. What are aliens? I put up a lot of typical pictures of what we think of when we think of the word aliens. Now, I want to start this by telling you a story. When I was small and I was growing up, I wasn't afraid of anything. Some people are afraid of spiders or afraid of heights, or they have fears or whatnot. I wasn't really afraid of anything. And I started watching the X-Files. And the X-Files really paints this picture of aliens as something to be afraid of, something to definitely fear, and there's all this spookiness. And I remember one time, that way, hey, what's up that way? One time, I was in the middle of watching the scariest X-Files that had this creepy little gray alien just staring at people. And my mom walked in and she asked me to go check the mail. And it was like the middle of the night. I'm like, go check the mail? All right. So I went outside to check the mail. But I was scared to death that a tractor beam was going to suck me up into the sky. And I was holding on to stuff along the way to go check the mail, because if a tractor beam was going to get me, it was going to take the car handle or the tree branch or whatever. And I got the mail and I sprinted right back to the house because I didn't want to get sucked up by some alien tractor beam and taken to another world and get probed and all this weird stuff, right? So that was something that was put into my head by this concept that we've been given of aliens. Now, I'm going to talk about some of these pictures a little later on, especially this guy with his scaly arm. Anyhow, so yeah, I was conditioned to be afraid of aliens from the very beginning, And there's a lot of stuff out there. This is a subject I haven't really gone into much detail because there's so many opinions out there. There's so many things that have been shaped by the spells that are cast upon our world, and we're basically conditioned and told we're given these preconceived ideas of how we should feel about aliens and what aliens are and our place with aliens and their place amongst us and all of this. And something doesn't sit right with me about this whole concept. Now, I know that in the conspiracy world, this is a big one, right? I mean, that's where a lot of people start off. Aliens, they get into ancient aliens. Let's talk about that, I loved watching Ancient Aliens, mostly because they gave me a little breadcrumb. They gave me a piece of the puzzle to follow, which was, what's the reality behind this concept? What's the reality behind this topic? Now, there's a lot of people out there who are easily triggered by various words. I get comments all the time. People are saying, oh, that shows, that person, that show, they're a controlled opposition and it's dedicated for this, that, and the other thing. A wise person can weed out controlled opposition. A wise person can take the nuggets and grains and breadcrumbs of truth and put all the rest of it aside. Because, like I say very often, everything is made of truth. I like this picture. I actually just threw this up there for no reason whatsoever, except I like it. everything is made of truth. And so it falls to us, people like myself, to untangle the knot of truth in order to make sense of subjects like aliens. So I want to start off by breaking down the word alien. Why? We just say alien. We call it something. We label something. We slap it on it. We don't consider its origin or its meanings or, why the letters are arranged in that order. The word alien originates from the word ale, okay? And it's like saying A-L-E, ale, or A-I-L, ale. Now, it has been spelled in various ways throughout time. It started off E-L or A-L. And for more information on this, please check out my video called The Secret of the Elves, okay? Because I break it down and I wrote it on a whiteboard for you all to see. So, it's the word ale. Now, the word ale, or el, turned into our word for God, okay? The word literally comes from two pictures, a picture of an ox and a picture of a staff. So together, we build context for a meaning, which is strong leader. That's all it means. It means strong leader. It was conveyed throughout the centuries as God or judge or alien or things of that nature, okay? But it's important to understand that those two pictures, the word ale, turned into our word for God. Now the word aeli, the I, is possessive. It means mine, right? Me or mine. So my ale was Eli, right? Or Eli, or Ali, right? There's people out there named Ali, and you wonder why. It means my strong leader, or my God, okay? Now, the suffix on in the ancient world meant of thee, or one of thee, okay? So it literally means el-e-on, those of my gods, or one of the gods. Something to that nature, okay? That's where the word alien comes from. It's been spelled a little bit different through dialect and pronunciation and how our language just morphs at the speed of light due to dialect and, people speaking differently and whatnot. Anyhow, that's where it comes from, okay? So, how are the alien, or the El, the God race, the aliens, like this guy right here, which is just a cartoon. I mean, that's a cartoon version of the reality. I think this is probably closer to the reality, even though that's not it either. Anyhow, being of the gods, or of the strong leaders, all you have to do, instead of putting an I at the end for possessive, you put a U or a V, same letter, okay? And it means of thee. So the elu or the elva, which are the same letter, U and V, means of the mighty leaders. And it turned into the word elv, or a hard V, elf, okay? So elves are real. They are of the gods. They are those of the mighty ones, or those of the strong leaders. They're the elu, okay? So that's important to begin our conversation. Are aliens real? I say yes, absolutely, they are real. If anything, it all depends on perspective, because technically, when you look at the grand scheme of things, we are aliens to this world. There were those who were here before us, which are the Elu, right? And those who were here before them, which are the Titan, the Titans, right? So just keep that in mind as we move forward. So I'm making this video because it seems to me like a lot of stuff is just really blurry these days. There are no fine lines. There's no understanding to things. And if anything, things have become very cartoonish. When, for example, elves, right? When you look at or think of the concept of an elf, if this subject is not brand new to you, you probably hear the word elf and you think of a Keebler cookie or something lame. Elf on the Shelf, the stupid movie Elf with Will Ferrell. These are all cartoon caricature versions of the hard reality. which are the strong leaders that once existed in our realm. So that has become a very cartoonified, caricature type drawing and mental image that we get when we think of the elven race. Same thing applies to the alien race. These are all, look at that guy. That's a cartoon caricature version of the truth, of the reality of the situation, right? And don't get me started. We'll talk about classes of alien races and whatnot. By the way, that's Alf. For those of you who grew up in the 80s, that's Alf. He's an alien life form. Alf. Now, Alf literally means elf, just so you know. That's why I put that up there. So, anyhow, the whole concept of the aliens has been something that we have been, it's been bombarded in our face for many years, that this is something we are to fear, something that we are to, it's almost held in reverence or magic, it's mystical, it's something we don't understand at all, and so we're afraid of it, and so we talk about it as if it's this non-real type thing that we can just create the idea of it and make that the reality, instead of talking about the reality and using our imagination and balance it out to figure out and piece together what it once actually was. So we'll be talking about, reptilians and all this stuff here in a bit. So anyhow, we're conditioned. This is something that's huge to me. We're conditioned to all of these movies and everything, for the most part. There are exceptions, of course. But we can see the truth in the exceptions as well. In these movies, we are conditioned to basically take up arms, to take our weapons, our guns, point them at the sky, because we're being told through this conditioning that the aliens are going to come down from the sky one day, and that we need to shoot them. We need to blast them out of the air because they're going to take control. Oh, look, there's 0 people watching. Look at that. Clearly that doesn't work, so let's get rid of that. Bye-bye. Anyhow, doesn't matter. So we're being conditioned to to already fight against whatever foreign alien invaders are on their way here, Portal's going to open up in the sky, and all of these UFOs are going to come, and they're going to take over the world. And so we're conditioned through these movies and stories and things to aim our guns at them and to fight them and to shoot them. They're already the bad guys. Now, I am not, let me clarify, I am not in any way saying the aliens or the elves or whoever are all good. I'm not saying they're good. But I'm definitely not siding with the mainstream idea is they're spooky and you need to be afraid of the aliens and you need to get ready to kill them and fight them. And, they're all very clever and they're here to just take over and to manipulate. And then, of course, there's the people that, say they're all demons. They're demons. Man, people have told me, like, they're demons and they're just, it's trickery because the demons all got together and they're going to put on these alien masks to look like the aliens because they want to kill us all. That doesn't make any sense to me. If demons are coming here to just kill everyone, just look like a demon. Look like the scariest thing that you are. No need to step it down a notch and put on an alien gray big head and all that. Just come here and just kill everybody. Take control. If that's your plan anyway. There's no need to shapeshift and to pretend to be something else or whatnot. If your goal is to just destroy everybody, to wipe out humanity. There's so many, that goes down so many other avenues of thought, but I did want to throw that out there. I'm not a big believer in like demons are turning into aliens in order to trick us, in order to take over or whatnot, okay? The world has already been taken over, okay? And if you can't see that, look around. The world has been taken over. And the next step is to take it back. So if the world's already been taken over and there's some sort of invading race coming down from the skies, are they here to take over the people who took over? Is my enemy's enemy my friend? Those are questions we should be asking ourselves. The concept of aliens or strangers who we are not used to being around re-entering or making their appearance is an old one, and on that note, I just want to throw it out there. The elven race, the Elu, the elves, the strong leaders, the mighty leaders, the gods of old, they were the immortals. They lived forever. They could not die unless they were killed or unless they willed themselves to die, to leave their bodies, okay? So us as human beings are babies. We have very short lifespans, and we tend to think along those same lines, you know? We tend to think as babies, you know? We tend to think very haughty and proud and holier than thou type thoughts, as if we're, you know, because we're at the top of the food chain and we're the humans and we're the best that there is. But there's a lot going on behind the scenes that a lot of you have already discovered, that you already understand. It's just picking it apart. And I feel like the topic of aliens is one of those things that we need to really take a second look at, okay? So, in short, there were the class, there was the race of beings who preceded us, known as the mighty leaders, the Elu, the elven race, whatever you want to call them, okay? And they were the immortals, okay? Now, if they truly are immortal, and they went into hiding, or they left, or anything like that, and they return, they will return many generations after all of these little baby humans have already died. Families, you know, tribes, millennia after millennia, you know, like, we have come and gone time and time and time and time again. Meanwhile, they still might be the same character, same person as they always have been, collecting even more knowledge ever since then, ever since the time that they had left or went into hiding or whatever had happened. And, you know, this is one of the attributes of the elven race. They're very calm, very collective, you know, and they seem kind of cold. Now, that being said, let me discuss some of the physical attributes that I've stumbled across, okay? Because it doesn't seem to me like there are these, you know, thousands of different alien races and, you know, out there on all these planets out there in space, just never ending. And, you know, anything that you can think of is pretty much an alien. That's kind of how it's presented to us. I'm not so sure about that. I think there are these other races of beings, but I'm not so sure that there's just, you know, there's a monkey race of aliens, and there's a lizard race of aliens, and there's an insect race of aliens, and there's a ghost race of aliens, and there's a remote control race of aliens, and there's a television and a robotic, and you know what I mean? It just goes on and on and on because we're fed the concept of infinite nothingness, and there's all these little round planets spinning and moving and doing all this in the infinite nothingness, and each one of those planets has the capability of having totally different life. I can see the fantasy behind that. I like the creativity behind that, but I don't want to get wrapped up in that fantasy. I want to balance that fantasy out with reasoning and rational thinking and using and putting together the clues that have come down to us on our realm as long as we've been here. Now, that's sort of the opposite of what I normally say, because normally we are conditioned to think with our left brain only. Here's the information. Here's the facts. The ends justify the means, right? And I say balance that out with your intuition. Balance that out with your creativity. This time I'm saying the opposite, because we've been told it's all a giant, you know, space is basically a blank canvas. Put whatever you want out there in space in your own mind. Just make up all these aliens and make up all these planets and make it all up. And they allow our imaginations to run wild with that. And I say, let's balance that out with rational thinking and the evidence that we have. And I'm all about being balanced. I say use both, by all means. Be creative, but use your reasoning abilities as well. So anyhow, I mean, look at this picture. Clearly, you know, that guy's an elf. By the way, that's why I put Yoda up there. Yoda is an elf of all the Star Wars movies. Totally an elf. This alien has some water spill on him, and all of a sudden he's terrified of water. The aliens don't like water for some reason. Well, isn't that strange? Because our world was completely flooded by water, and there was a gigantic water cataclysm with this strange type of water that's not really drinkable. And the aliens are portrayed as being allergic to the water or whatnot. There's the Alf again. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. So we've clearly been conditioned to be afraid of the aliens, okay? We've been conditioned to do one of two things. Totally accept them, at their coming, like, oh, the aliens are coming. Take me with you, aliens, Like, it's one or the other. Like, people are either totally loving of aliens, like, oh, I love aliens and, I support them or whatever. Dude, what if aliens are just like us, I mean, physically different, comprised differently, but what if they have a good race? What if they have morals like we do? What if they have conflict like we do? It's good to approach them in the same way or a similar way that we should be approaching one another. There are humans out there, I don't know where, but I'm just kidding. There are humans out there that are good, that are moral, that are selfless and loving and caring. Then there's humans out there that are just horrible, not people that I want to spend my time with or be around or trust. And it may be the same thing with this ancient race. Now, it may require some more being careful on our part, because think about that, a race of beings that are basically can't die. Think of all of the knowledge they accumulate. If you could live for a few thousand years, imagine what you would know. Just from experience. I mean, not even like putting your mind to studying, not even taking that into account. Just imagine what you would acquire through simple living. Just experience, period. That's it. You would already be so much wiser for having experienced life for so much longer in comparison to these baby lifespans that we have as humans. Okay? And we are the mortal race. We are the ones that die. We are the ones that live a little bit and then we go away. Okay? But that gets into some other stuff. So anyhow, I want to point this out real quick. Look at Thor's armor. Look at his skin, okay? I mean, it's kind of skin, okay? I know it's not his actual skin, but why is it portrayed like that? Look at Superman's outfit. Do you notice a theme? Do you see the scaly type structure to both of their suits? I mean, look at that. Why did they do that? I mean, he's blue because just go check out my video on the blue gods, okay? But that's why Superman's suit is blue, okay? But they're starting to make them look scaly looking. The ancient gods, the Elu, the Elu, the elven race, so many different names due to so many different pronunciations and dialects and accents, okay? They're all very similar, if not the same. They were silica-based life forms in the Silica Age, most likely. That's where I am with that so far. And they may have actually had skin that looks different from our skin. They may have been comprised a little bit differently. That's why whenever, the tribal people came upon the gods, or the gods came upon the tribal people, and they didn't know how to describe them. So they saw scaly-like skin. They saw that, they had this glow to them, or this shimmering, and they said, oh, they must be fish people. Oh, they must be reptilian. That's the worst one, man. And you know what? I like David Icke. I like his research. I'm not a big fan of pointing fingers in this day and age and doing this whole witch hunt, where everyone's a shill, everyone's a paid agent, everyone's in on it, everyone's controlled opposition. I'm not so sure about that. And honestly, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. So I'm thankful for people like David Icke who wrote their books so that I can read them, so that I can glean from the information that they presented, so that I can come to my own conclusions, so I can add it to my little bookshelf, my little Rolodex of information in my mind, and consider it from time to time to build my own story, to come to my own conclusions, which I don't really have conclusions. I just have an ever-growing idea of things as I travel my path. But one thing that just leaves a bad taste in my mouth is the whole reptilian thing, you know? And people have really taken off with that, you know? They're lizard people. Let me explain it in short. You don't like to be compared to a monkey. How much less do these immortal beings who have all of this knowledge and wisdom and mastery of their world like being compared to a lizard or a reptile? You know what I mean? I'm just not so sure about that. It doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't sound right. It sounds like something's missing. And the missing link, as they say, that's a double play on words because Link is an elf. And then there's the missing link, monkeys. But the missing link is what have we added to the story? You know, there are these strong and mighty leaders that have come down to us. They looked different than we do, but they also looked similar. Now all of a sudden they're this guy or they're these guys, you know. They're lizard people, you know. Oh, I know lizards have scales and fish have scales, so they're fish gods, you know, or they're lizard gods. People have actually slowed down my videos and count how many times I lick my lips or whatever. Now, if you see a video where I lick my lips and a forked tongue comes out, let me know, okay? Or if like my eyes blink sideways or something crazy like that, let me know. I'll be happy to check into that. But even if I was an alien, even if I was a lizard person, even if I was an alien gray and I shapeshifted into this JayDreamerZ form for now, so what? Are my words any less valuable? Is the information I'm presenting any less significant? Or is it all part of some scheme that I have? Because I'm so wise, I'm going to take control by getting all of these subscribers on YouTube. You know, some of that is just, it sounds ridiculous. I'm sorry, but it does. Sometimes we allow our imaginations to run away with us. Don't allow your imagination to run away with you. Imagination is a strong tool that we have. We should respect imagination and creativity and intuition, right? Not just open up to just, that's it. That's all you have. We become very unbalanced when that happens. We need to keep the creative side, the emotional side, and we need to balance it with the informational side to walk that middle path. I mean, at least that's what I strive to do, so that people cannot easily fool me or hype me up and get me all hyped up and in a completely emotional state, you know? Yeah, aliens are bad. I'm all about God and country and my borders around my area and, you know, this particular, and, you know, building all these walls around myself, you know? So anyhow, that's my 2 cents on that one. That dude's from Independence Day. I love that movie. Man. But why are aliens so interesting to us? I'll tell you why they're so interesting to me and why I believe that the entire world, whether they admit it or not, are enamored with aliens, is because there is truth to the concept. Is that the truth? Is this guy with bulging eyeballs and a brain head and all that, you know, skeleton teeth and all that, is that the truth? No, but is there an element of truth to these concepts? Yes, I believe there is. Okay, now, why do we call them aliens? If they're actually the ancient gods or the ancient mighty leaders or this silica-based life form that once coexisted with the Titans on a world full of giant mushrooms and huge silica trees, and it was all very fantastic, why in the world would we consider them aliens today? Right? We consider this to be our world. This is our planet. We need to protect it, you know? Why are we like that? We see them. We have lost respect, first of all. There is an element of respect. Even if you have your worst enemy, it's always wise to give that enemy the respect that they deserve so that they don't take advantage of you, right? Respect is a tool that we can implement as well. We have lost the respect for these ancient beings, for these strong or mighty leaders that once were and now seemingly are no more. They have been forgotten. They are turning into another version of these fantasies and stories and cartoonified, and they're turned into these caricatures. They're almost laughable. Like if you've ever seen some of these movies like Paul, that was a good one. That's laughable. It's making fun of, it's poking fun at. It's not this reverence for a being that, like, and I'm not saying, we should bow down to the elven race or the ancient gods or anything like that. And it sucks that I have to preface myself, but I keep in mind, all these different comments and all of everyone's various opinions and all these different walks of life that are out there, and people are influenced and, affected by all of these web form spells that have been cast all over the place. And very few people seem to have a truly independent mind these days. They're just completely affected by the world around them, while thinking that it's their own thoughts, it's their own feelings on the subject or whatnot, including myself. That's something I constantly try to shake off, I try to be aware of it whenever I catch myself feeling that way or thinking that way. So anyhow, that's what I wanted to say about the aliens. What else? Oh, their chemical composition, it seems to me that they were silica-based, right? And they've been described in many ancient manuscripts and texts as being much bigger than we are today, so giant in stature. And, they're being very fair, very beautiful. This is why we try to emulate them. The elven race does not seem to really grow facial hair. They grow out their hair very long, as the ancient gods do, as depicted by Thor and some other things like that. Not all the time, there are exceptions, but there were the beautiful ones, the Vanir, the pretty ones, and they taught us ways to try to be like them. By giving us makeup and letting us try to make our eyes look bigger and beautify ourselves so that we have these arched, pointy eyebrows. And, we try to they are our beauty standard. Okay? And so we try to look like them. There's even a makeup cosmetics line called Elf. What are the odds of that? Why would you call it Elf? Oh, because it stands for eyes, lips, and face. Okay, but you did that for a purpose and for a reason. You wanted it to say the word elf because it harkens to the elven gods. Just like so many other things in our world. Look at all of the car manufacturers. Any type of vehicle that's named after something, 99% of the time is named after the elven race or the ancient gods. Those who could fly through the air and travel very quickly, It's all over the place in our society. We remember them, and in our subconscious, we still respect them. In our subconscious, we still look up to them. Now, I'm not saying we should look up to all of them. For more information about that, check out my video about the dark elves, the dark gods, and that's, in short, there are various classes, There are those who basically support the humans, the mortal race, and so we like to revere them, and we support them, and we say, yes, I like these ones. These are my El. These are the Eli, or these are the Elion, those of my gods. And then we have the devils, we have the bad gods. We have the ones that don't really care about the human beings because we have such short lifespans and we are disposable, and we don't. There's understanding for me on both sides. I get it on both sides. I do. And, believe me, there's times when I'm like, just wipe us out, man. That's fine. Just wipe us out. Like, nature will kick in. We'll start over. But, man, and I think a lot of people feel that way from time to time, Anyhow, I'm getting a little bit off the subject. I'm sorry. So there are these different races that have evolved from this one main archetypal concept, right? These beings that were basically described as being what we would call albino in color, right? Just like that. You see how there's like an albino type, pasty white type color? That's the skin color that originally many of these ancient gods were described as being, okay? And maybe because of the light situation that was in the ancient sky, they could appear blue at times because of the Saturn skylight that once, was in our realm, giving them like an avatar type look, Anyhow, there are all of these ancient descriptions of these gods. Now, they're not really described like this. This is propaganda. This is like, something to try to scare you. Big black eyes and, like, it's just scary looking, It's a cartoon version of the reality. So we've got the Nordic race, right? And they're basically always painted as like white people, basically. White people, Caucasians with like long blonde hair and blue eyes, right? There are elements of truth to that. Just like there's elements of truth to this scenario going on, Good alien. There are elements of truth to that, okay? But you have the Nordic race. These are the white gods that came down from the Caucasus regions on the mountaintops and cultivated, the locals, basically. That's the story in short, okay? Or the Aryan race, or the Aryon. I broke that word down as well in my Secret of the Elves video, okay? But it's not Aryan as in like white power, hail Hitler, it's not Aryan like that. It's Aryan as in they're words that have actual meanings, okay? It basically means those of the immortal, okay? Those who have immortal spirits or everlasting life or the gods, basically. And that's in comparison to us. Keep that in mind. That's an important thing to keep in mind. When we start labeling these things that are larger than life in comparison to us, we tend to really amplify that, Now the ancient gods who lived for thousands of years and accumulated all of this knowledge in comparison to us are all-knowing. Now they're the all-knowing gods, right? They don't really know everything, but they know way more than we do in comparison. How about Superman? He's an all-powerful god, right? He's all-powerful. Is he really all-powerful? No, he's got limitations. He has weaknesses and stuff. But in comparison to the baby, frail, carbon-based human race, he seems all-powerful, And Superman's name is Kal-El, He comes from Krypton, this planet where everyone has the word El in their name for some strange reason, because it means God or strong leader. They are the Elu, the Elu, the elves of the elves. Same thing. Anyhow, totally just drew blank. What else? So that's the Nordics. We have the reptilians, and I touched on that. To me, they're all the same. Okay, they're the same. They might have slight differences as we do, in appearance from one to another. But in general, it seems to me that they all took on a very similar description from these ancient books and manuscripts and stories, legends, myths, and fairy tales. They're all described very similarly. And for example, I broke down the word leprechaun, which means scaly priest or priest of the scaly ones. Okay. And does that mean that they had leprosy because their skin was flaking off into little scales? No, it means that they had what looked like a scaly skin structure to them. That doesn't make them animals. It doesn't make them reptiles. It doesn't make them lizards. I don't even know where this came from, okay? Like, that whole alien with all the teeth and, like, the tongue and all, other things coming out of it. That's like, I don't really like the term, but it's fear porn, that's what it seems like. It's designed to just scare us, I'm not afraid of any alien beings, but I have a reverence, I have a respect, I honor what I see about them. Even if aliens decide, let's just say, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's give society the benefit of the doubt. Aliens are all bad, and they're going to invade our planet one day and try to kill us all with their advanced technology and just take over, right? Let's say that story is true. I respect that they have the ability to travel that far. or the technology to wipe out an entire planet. Or, I respect the knowledge that they have acquired. I honor that, and I say, wow, I honor my enemy's abilities. Okay? Not necessarily enemy, I'm not a big polarized type person. However, you know what I mean? Everybody has an agenda, and everyone's agenda is based on what's happening inside of here and here. That's why it's good to keep them balanced, to not let this, you don't want to run away with this and that's it. You don't want to run away with this and that's it. It's good to keep them balanced. So, you've got the Nordics, you've got the reptilian alligator looking race like this dude. These are just, for me, the actual characteristics that are being amplified in order to really show off the things that we remember most vividly about these beings, okay? And I'm not by any means saying, oh, they're the gods and we should worship them and this and that. I'm just saying let's put what we know up on the table and let's sort it out. Let's figure it out. I can't see, alien type lizard people. I don't see insect people. I don't see demons that just decided to pretend to be aliens or whatnot. I don't see, sexy, beautiful, anyway, I don't see all that, okay? There is a reality behind this. This picture is propaganda. It's designed to make you think, oh, the Nordic aliens, they're all just really good and they're here to help you out or whatever. They're all the same. They're all the exact same species or race or whatever it's called, and they've been painted differently from tribe to tribe, from culture to culture, from time to time, from legend to legend, story to story, and myth to myth. Okay? They have evolved. This whole concept that we really created, we've created this whole enemy to be afraid of, and we don't understand it, Anyhow, what else? The Greys. Oh, I do want to throw something out there. Some people are probably thinking about it. This whole okay, let me put this out there. I do not lean toward there being space in the way that it's given to us. I do not lean towards there being all these billions of planets with all this billions of different possible life forms and stuff. I do believe there are planes of existence. Those planes of existence are all around, above and below, okay? And that those planes of existence have with them their own life forms. So, for example, let's say we live on a plane of existence, and outside of our plane of existence, there's another race of beings, another species of beings. I talk about the Titans all the time. I personally think there probably are Titans outside of our realm, just on the other side, still there. I think that there are probably still the El, the gods, the god race, whatever you want to call them, above us. That's why we point up, and that's where God lives, above us, right? I mean, you could point down, right? If we're in space, it doesn't matter. You could point that way and say, down there in heaven, where God is, because you're just pointing off into infinity anyways. Anyhow. So if there are aliens, it's just because they are those that we're not familiar with. We're not used to seeing them around. And the story goes that this was once their world. This was their realm, and we made our appearance one day, and we hit the scene, and we sort of populated, and they disappeared, and they faded out of the picture. So now we consider this to be our home, our realm, and if you guys come back, we'll fight you to the death, and you're the bad guys, and you don't belong here, etc., etc., etc. Instead of saying, wait a minute, maybe we both are from here, and let's talk about that, What else? If there's anything I'm missing, let me know. Okay, so I think I'm going to wrap the alien talk up. I can't remember, if there was anything else I really want to say about that. Just approach the concept of aliens with a grain of salt, There are truths to be found in this whole alien idea, the alien agenda, this concept that aliens are going to reemerge one day, without getting religious about it. There's truth in that, The ancient legends in the Norse call it Ragnarok. The Bible calls it Revelation or whatnot, where the Lord will come back with thousands upon thousands of his angels, okay? Anyhow, just consider it, weigh it out, balance it out, instead of being afraid of the aliens, not understanding, not researching, not looking into it, and definitely not getting carried away with our own imaginations to just say, oh, anything's possible, so I'm going to make it all real in my mind. I'm going to shape my own concept of these gods in my mind and make that real. I'm going to shape my own concept of these foreign invaders and what their agenda is. I mean, that's a lot of speculation. And speculation's okay, but let's balance it out. That's all I'm saying, really. So, a lot of people in the chat have been mentioning some other things, so I'm going to take a break from talking about the aliens, which are really the elves. They're the elven race. They're green. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of stuff. Please do check out my videos about the elves and how I, basically correlate them with the ancient gods. But I do want to mention some things. This is my last live stream for some time. I will be focusing really on writing my book. I'm not going to be on here as much. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube, and don't get me wrong, 90%, 95% of all of you wonderful people, probably everybody watching right now, you're all amazing. You've all been so very supportive and edifying and uplifting and encouraging, and I love that. But there's still a lot of garbage in the world, and quite honestly, my job is to sort out the garbage, okay? I talk to people on the phone all day long, and it's a very negative experience, okay? And I don't want more of that from this. So I also just need to take a small break and just sort of breathe, and concentrate and meditate on the beautiful things and the positive things from within so that I can manifest them without, right? So that I can be without all of this negative energy that compounds itself, especially on light bringers, light bearers, those who try their hardest to bring a smile to the rest of the world. I mean, a smile inside, it's a very depressing world we live in, and so it's hard to smile. Actually, I think it's interesting that every time we take a picture these days, people pretty much force you to smile. Like, people get angry if you don't smile. Did you ever see those pictures from the 1800s, Like, they just took a picture like that, okay, you're gonna take my picture? Okay. Take the picture. No need to be fake. No need to go, or this whole selfie garbage, all this fake. Look how happy I am. Life is so great. I'm sorry, but life sucks. This place sucks. This place needs a revamping. It needs anarchy. It needs to be destroyed and built again. And that's my own thing on that. I did some videos about anarchy, but the world is not a good place, okay? So I don't see any reason to just be all, if I am smiling in a picture, and I'm totally going on a tangent right now, but, I mean, come on. If I'm already smiling, good. That means I happen to be happy at that time. Happy enough to smile, But to get on YouTube and be like, hey guys, oh, man, life is so good, and blah, blah, blah. And then, I get back to my real life, and it's like, man, this sucks, But I don't want everyone to think my life sucks, so I'm going to put up this front, and, I'm going to make sure to say cheese so that I'm smiling. That's fake, man. I don't like that, and I'm not going to do that. I don't know why I said that. I'm sorry. Just getting out a few last sentiments, all right? So, anyhow, yes, this will be the last live stream for a while. I'm going to be focusing on writing the book. Just real quick, if anybody does want to contribute, to the publishing of the book, I'm trying to do some research, and, it seems very, there are a lot of variables. It could be as cheap as $200 to publish a book, or as expensive as a few $1,000s, So, if you want to contribute in any way, all of the, contributions to my channel are going to be going towards helping me to publish the book once it's ready. Not just publishing, but, hiring artists and stuff like that to get the cover. And I honestly don't know what goes into any books. I've never written a book, but there are various things that go into that. And if you'd like to help out, feel free to go ahead and email me. On that note, I mean, if you know how to publish books, or you have some advice, or people, 7 degrees of separation. Some people out there right now might know people that can actually help me to just publish the book for free. That'd be awesome. But people don't like to hear YouTubers talk about money, so I'm going to stop talking about that. But there is a PayPal button and a Patreon button. Just throwing that out there. Anyhow, I'm going to be writing my book. It's going to be focused on ancient oblivion. It's going to be focused on this fantastic realm, really focusing on ancient history, as I've been talking about, bringing us into our modern age of today, the present, and taking us into what I feel is the up and coming, right? The future, okay, basically. And I'm excited about it, and I'm already starting on it. And a lot of people have already said they can't wait to check it out. And, I will be checking in. I will be posting some videos in between, in the in-between time. So I know some people like my breadcrumb series that I'm doing. I'll still be working on that from time to time. And I was thinking about maybe throwing up a live stream, but just making it basically a live stream for all of you to be able to talk. Just a chat, a live stream chat for specific subjects, like, a chat live stream for ancient oblivion and all that it encompasses, That's something that I'm thinking about doing. If you think that sounds like a good idea, just let me know. That way I can do some sort of, 24/7 live stream so you guys can chat. And I'll leave the chat up on the screen. Everybody can have a good time communicating with one another, basically. If anything important happens in between now and then, of course, I'll probably jump on and make a video about it or something. But I just wanted to let you know, and also my channel took off for some reason. I don't know why, but I have over 10,000 subscribers right now. I don't know what happened. I don't know, I don't know. I think that's awesome, and I'm glad, and I just hope people get something out of it, whether or not there are subscribers. You know what? I think that's amazing too, because almost never, and I say almost because there's a small exception to that, but I've never said like, hey guys, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, okay? Like, you guys all do that on your own. You're all grown-ups. You know what to do. If you like something, you like it, I don't need you to show me, but you do. And you've been sharing my videos, and you've been talking about it, and all of that. And I think that's great. And I'm excited because it means that I'm bringing something that's of value to the rest of the world. I don't care about, watch me eat a spoonful of cinnamon, guys. Watch me puke my guts out. Watch me go punch a random person, or whatever kind of stupid stuff is out there today. I try really hard to talk about things that will inspire other people to at least think outside of the box that has been built up around us in the world we live in to trap us in our own minds. They use our own minds as weapons against us. They have infiltrated. But that's a whole different story. I think Carlos Castaneda really describes it very well when he talks about the Mexican shaman Don Juan. And Don Juan talks about these beings that infiltrated us, and they gave us their mind. They gave us their same exact mind, the mind of a predator. And I think those are really good books to check out. So I'm going to jump into the chat. I just want to say hello to everybody. I want to thank everybody. Actually, there are some people that I forgot to thank. So if you're just watching for the alien stuff, you could probably just go watch something else at this point, because now I'm just going to hang out with my people. But I do want to thank some people that I didn't thank last time. And let me find them. They're the people in the super chat. I thank the Patreon supporters and all, the PayPal supporters and stuff. I want to thank the super chat people as well. So let me find that real quick. Here we go. Okay, so I want to thank thedailyplane.com, Neverending Adventures TV and Vlogs, Save Our Future, America and Humanity, Jessica Williams, Your Heart is a Portal, Kelvin Kingori, Guru MGTOW777, and Bible Book Club. And I think that's it. That's all that's showing on my screen. So, my heartfelt thanks to all of you for your support, for your positivity, for for just whatever you do in your life, that's that little bit to change. Just to change your life, change yourself, and you affect the world around you. And that's something we're constantly forgetting and taking for granted, thinking that we don't have an effect on the world around us. Your presence affects the future as you know it. So your presence is very important. Okay, you are a very valuable thing. You're a valuable person. You have value. You contribute to this world, whether you like it or not. Jessica Williams, thank you. I love that never-ending story. Yeah. Anyhow, I am back in the chat. So hello. Let's see who's in the chat right now. Whoa, there are a lot of people in the chat. So I don't have time to go over everybody's names, but I mean, you guys are all up there anyhow. So, hi, hey, what's up? A lot of people have said really nice things, like North Nottingham. You know, he says Jay is the real deal. You know, I just get on here. I'm just myself. You know, I'm just being myself. I'm not trying to, you know. I don't really curse that much, but I mean, if I'm pissed off, I'll curse, you know, or I'll call it like it is. I don't know. I'm just myself. That's all. And I just enjoy sharing things with you guys. And it's a crazy world out there. And I hope that, my hope is that many of you can relate to some of the things that I talk about, the things that I bring to the table, whether or not, you know, you think that aliens are real, or elves are real, or titans existed, or the earth is flat. You know, I just hope that you can relate to a regular, and I say regular, but a regular person out there, you know. I struggle too. I try my hardest. Ruelayne, wow. Thank you, Ruelayne. Man, you guys, look at that. Yeah. Ruelayne, man. Thank you. You're all beautiful people. And I don't know what else to say except thank you. I'm going to try my hardest. No, I'm not going to try. Because Yoda, the elf of Star Wars, says, there is no try. Only do, right? So I will do my utmost to change the world that I live in. To attack at full force. You know, to meet things head on. And to show the courage of somebody who my entire life was just under the shadow of fear. You know, that I should be kept in line, that I should not speak out, that I shouldn't discuss things that are on my mind, that I shouldn't question the reality that's being presented to me. And thanks to all of you people inspiring me, and other people out here in the world as well, and thanks to myself, also, you know, I do want to pat myself on the back for having the courage to step out and say, you know what? Life is short. And one of these days, you know, this vessel will pass away. So why not do everything I can with it? You know? Or to quote one of my favorite movies, the future is whatever you make it. So make it a good one. You know? Props. You get bonus if you know what movie that's from. So, yes, lots of people in the chat, lots of subscribers. I think that's awesome. You know, a lot of you have given me very good feedback about how I'm doing my videos. You know, just little things that actually help people to stay interested and to stay focused on, you know, whatever the topic may be. And I appreciate it. You know, for those of people who are saying, you ramble too much, get to the point. You know, you have helped me. I have learned to get to the point and then ramble later on, like I am right now. And I don't want to say goodbye, even if for a short period of time. But like I said, I will be on. Oh, and I want to throw this out there. I actually wrote notes on my hand. I don't know if you can see it. But to everyone who reaches out to me, there are lots and lots of people that try to reach out to me, and I don't always get to everybody. I truly apologize. I wish I had all the time in the day to read all of the emails, to call everybody, to text everybody, to chat with everybody. But the reality is it takes time. And time is short, so to speak. Okay? And I apologize. I hope I get around. I hope I get the chance to talk to you and to meet you one day. That would be great. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I talked about my book. I don't know what else to say. So... Oh, am I a lefty? Somebody asked me, am I a lefty? No, but my New Year's resolution was to become a lefty, right? I'm going to start doing things. I started already doing things more predominantly with my left hand so that I can be more balanced, because I was very right hand dominant. Even when I used to play basketball a long time ago, I started using my left hand, and it's amazing because I actually feel a difference. Let's see, what else? Great attitude, JayDreamerZ. You've got the keys, says Jessica Williams. North Nottingham says, how long until your book is out? Oh, that's a good question. I have no idea. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm aiming for, I want it to be done before the end of this year. And on that note, I have a suspicion about this year. I don't know if I've talked about it, but if anything is to happen on a grand scale, about 7 or 8 years ago, I actually did my own calculations, and I thought this was the year. Everybody says that. I know. I'm not predicting anything. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of really interesting and monumental stuff happen this year. I'm just saying. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Whatever. But I actually calculated some things out according to my own studies, and I came up with this date of around September-ish this year. But they say that every year. I know. So why even talk about it, right? It'll happen when it happens. But yeah, I'm trying to get my book out before the end of the year and before the end of the world. What else? Let's see. K-Bat says he just came in. Donald Plunkett says, JayDreamerZ, hey Jay, what's your thoughts about the lethal force at the Arctic and Antarctic perimeters, preventing seekers from finding answers to their own understanding of this world or reality? Roberta! Thank you, Roberta. So I do want to address the whole Antarctic thing because a lot of people have left some comments, you know. When I was first into Flat Earth, I was like, hey, Flat Earthers, let's go to Antarctica. I mean, like, just go. If there's a dome there, you'll see it. You'll find it, you know, like, go there. But then there was all this, lots of negativity from the Flat Earthers themselves saying, oh no, you'll get arrested and it's impossible and they've made it so difficult and this and that, which I think is garbage. I think it's retarded. That's all just in your mind, you know. So I was like, I'll go, you know. And honestly, that's still in my plans. If nothing happens this year, as far as like some huge crazy stuff happening, I will go. And, you know, if I have to go there and... Okay, let me put it this way. I'm going to go there either to die or before I die, okay? But this world sucks, and I'm all about spending my life for something of value. And if it means braving the oceans and the ice wall and the barriers and all of that, and the cold and whatever's out there, in order to find out the truth, I will do that. I'm bound and determined to do that. I also would like to go to the North Pole and actually go to the North Pole. So those are things long-term, you know, that are on my mind. Right now, I just want to finish writing my book so that I can give all of my attention to that. I want to fill it with all of my positive energy, and I want to just, I want it to be 100%. You know, I don't want to leave anything out of this book. I want to just give it my all and see what happens. If people like it and it sells and, you know, I can make money off of it, then maybe I can take the next step and actually travel the world and go give lectures and talk in different countries. And you know what I mean? Like stuff like that. That's what I would like to do. Go on site to archaeological type sites and record videos and, you know, do videos of my findings. Anyhow, that's all my Indiana Jones dream, okay? Yokohama Mike says, yo, Jay, do you pray? You know, I used to pray all of the time back when I was very religious. And then one day I realized, like, God is everywhere. So God can already hear my thoughts and all of this. So instead of praying, you know, as if something exists outside of me or separate from me, I meditate, understanding that this entity is everywhere. But I don't really want to wrap things up with a religious, note in people's mouths or whatnot. JayDreamerZ, as always, Jay, it's been a pleasure. Your inspirational streams are just brilliant. Thank you. Keep lighting the path, and remember, face the sun and shadows will fall behind you. That's beautiful. Thank you. There's a chance I might be on some other people's channels. I'm not sure. I know some people have asked me to talk to Zen Garcia and the Australian dude. I forgot his name, but he's very, astrotheology type stuff. And, Brother Sanchez, somebody had mentioned that. I don't know if I will or not, but if I do, I'll let everybody know. So, I'm going to wrap it up. I think it's a good time to just go. I wanted to have a video of the Hobbit, when he puts the ring on and he just disappears and it's a big exit or whatnot. But I want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for giving me some time in your life and in your day. I appreciate it. I hope I'm able to add something of value. I hope that I'm able to throw out a breadcrumb, a piece of the puzzle, if anything, for you to use and utilize in your life. If anything, I hope to at least inspire to think outside of the box. So that's it. I'm going to go. You guys have a great night. I can't remember if there was anything else I wanted to say. Dang it. Working on the book. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm really going to be focused and try to just purify myself of all of the negativity that's out there. If you want an example, just check out... Well, I don't want to talk about that. Let's leave on a good note. Let's leave on a fun note. How about a song, right? One of my favorite songs is... let me see if you guys can guess it. Let's see who can guess the song first. But it goes... It's such a good feeling to know you're alive. It's such a happy feeling to hold it inside. And when you wake up ready to say, I think I'll make a snappy today. There's another part of that one too. It's actually the ending of it that I was thinking of. When he says, man, I forgot it. Anyway, I'm going to say goodbye. I know I'm rambling. I really like talking to you guys. And I appreciate you. So, take care. And hopefully I'll see you soon with a brand new book to show and share with everyone. You guys have a good night. And until next time. Bye.
JayDreamerZ. Think outside the box.